Hi everyone, I welcome you all to all this webinar, a beginner's guide on the marketing. We are delighted to have Shikhir Sapra, an exceptional marketing professional and a brand manager at Himalaya Wellness, as a speaker. With a talent for crafting impactful marketing strategies and a belief in meaningful connection, Shikhir's approach goes beyond the business growth. An MBA graduate from SP Jain University, Institute of Management and Research, Mumbai, his expertise promises to inspire and leave a positive impact on your marketing journey. Get ready to learn from a true industry expert and discover the art of connecting with your audience in the ever evolving world of marketing. Now, over to you, Shikhir.
Yeah, thank you, Ayan, and good evening, everyone. And that's a delight to see that there's so much interest in the field of marketing from youngsters all across our country, because it's truly a remarkable field. And I think there's immense potential for anyone who wants to join this space and to grow in this, because if we can call it, it's an evergreen industry, and there will never be not be a need for marketing in the world. I think we have got some interesting answers. Now I'll focus on one interesting answer that is given by Vivek Kumar Panda, which is marketing is the art of selling goods and services. So to address that, let me tell you that everything can be marketed. So what I'm trying to say is that beyond goods and services, things that we can touch, we can't touch, everything in the world can be marketed. In fact, by participating in this seminar, I think in this webinar, you're also preparing yourself to market yourselves as good candidates for jobs. Therefore, marketing is present everywhere in the world, and that's why it's such an important function in our day-to-day lives as well. I'll tell you what exactly this translates to, but this definition is by Philip Kotler. So Philip Kotler is also known as the father of modern marketing, and he's one of the most famous and most respected marketers across the world. And according to him, what is the definition of marketing? Well, you can read it here. It's the art and science of discovering, creating, delivering, and communicating superior value to satisfy the needs of a target market at a profit. Now, you must be saying, these are so many words, don't confuse us. So I will not give you a simpler definition right now, but I will try to help you understand this definition itself, because this is given by, let's say, the father of modern marketing, who has such a profound understanding of this subject. Let's look at this definition. So let's look at the first part of this definition first. It's an art and a science. So what does that mean? So now there's this old theory, I think you must have heard, that left brain is for all logical tasks. For example, doing some maths calculations, or doing any kind of science work. And right brain is for creative things like art and craft, right? But this is just a theory, even I don't know. But if it's true, then marketing is one thing where you require both left brain and right brain. You can't just do with one part of your brain. So why? Because in art, you require creativity and instinct. And in marketing also, you need to be creative in order to be different from your competition. I'll tell you about this later as well, but just remember that it's an art as well, but it's a science as well. Because you can be creative all you like, but it has to be backed by data, and it has to have a logic that is surrounding it. So you can't just make anything out of thin air. You have to really research and then come up with something creative. So if you move on to the next part of this, so this is a very long line, right? So I won't tell you, all of these things right now. This I will break it down for you very in simpler language and simpler. This concept will be very clear to you by the end of this video, in this webinar. But here, the point I want to highlight is value. In fact, to help you out, let me tell you, there's a word called value for money. Have you ever heard that someone, has told you, I want to buy this shirt, not this shirt, or, I want to buy this bag, not this bag, because this has more value for money. Okay, so let's move on and see what does value mean. And so what is value? Value is, if you look at it as an equation, then value is the perceived benefit minus the perceived cost. Now, the important part here to see is perceived. So perceived versus actual is a difference. For example, if something costs 10 rupees, right, then the actual cost is 10 rupees. But perceived cost, for example, if you just show me that thing and I say, no, it looks like it's 20 rupees, then the perceived cost is 20 rupees. Therefore, in marketing, what matters is, of course, actual will also matter, but perception matters a lot. Perception is key here. So value comes when benefit and from the difference between benefit and cost. So benefit, what are the types of benefits? There is functional benefit, there's emotional benefit, and there's image benefit. So let me give you an example of an iPhone. So an iPhone, for example, has a functional benefit that you can use it to call your parents, or you can use it to call anyone. You can use it to chat with your friends. You can use it to access apps. So all these are functional benefits. Apart from that, you can also use it to, play music, to use the internet. So all of these are functional benefits. And apart from that, there are also emotional benefits. So when you have your iPhone with you, you feel very secure because the iPhone is with you and you are able to call anyone in case of an emergency. You also feel confident because you have a phone with which you can access all the information present in the world through the internet. So these are the emotional benefits. Apart from that, there is also the image benefit, which is that when someone else sees you with an iPhone, then how do they think of you? They think of you as someone who is, might be rich, and they're also very trendy. This is a very trendy person. So that is why the benefits of of any product or brand would be a combination of these three. It has to be a functional, emotional benefit, and image benefit. So, and also if you look at the cost now, I'll give you more examples of this to help, clarify this concept further. But if you look at what is perceived cost, then cost can come in four types. One is the money cost. Simple. How much are you paying to buy the iPhone, for example? If you're paying, for example, let's say some thousands of rupees, that's the money cost. Then there is also time. So time is not just, of course, there will be some time that you took to, you do your research, to buy the product. And, but it's also time that you spend. For example, if the iPhone, you find out that there's some problem with it, then you have to spend so much time to repair it, get all that done. So there's a cost associated with the time that happens. There's also energy. You will have to go to the repair person, get it repaired. So you're really, giving physical energy into solving this issue. And there's also psychological cost. So psychological cost is when you think about, the kind of dissatisfaction that you get because I bought an iPhone, but now it's broken. So that psychological cost is also part of the cost. One more issue can be, for example, if someone is using an Android phone today and they decide to buy us an iPhone, one more psychological cost will be that they will have to get used to the iOS, uh, system. So for that, that is a psychological cost. They have to learn how to use it. Therefore, if iPhone has a very simple interface, then the psychological cost will be very low for that. But if it's very different from Android, then there will be a high psychological cost. Therefore, people won't want to switch from Android to iOS, right? So any product that you see has to have value, and the perceived benefit and the perceived cost will define what is the value of the product. So all of the benefits in your product have to be greater than your cost, right? And one more thing, let me tell you, is, for example, let's imagine that there is one phone and another phone, or let's say one car and another car, right? And they both have the same value because they have the same benefits and they have the same costs also. Now, how can, if I am I am from company A and I want to increase the value of my car versus my competition, then what can I do? But in terms of this equation, if you look at it, it's very simple. Either I can increase my benefits or I can lower my cost. That will make my value greater than my competition. Because here it's important in the definition also, which we saw, we have to have superior value versus competition. If we are at par, then someone will think that I can buy either. If I'm lower in value, then someone will always say that I will go with the competition. I have to have higher value for the customer to choose me. Okay, so coming back to this definition, yeah. So marketing, as we saw, is an art and a science that I think we are clear about. And also, we are also clear about what value is. But the most important part from this session that you should take away, it is that marketing is about satisfying needs. If I have to give it in one line, marketing is about, this is the most important part of this statement. But I think we all know what needs mean. For example, we talked about, iPhone, or we talked about some car. Is that a need for us? Do we need those things in life? Let me tell you what is a need exactly. So a need is something that is necessary for your survival. And this will include something like, food, shelter, air, clothing. These things you need to survive. And there is this concept made by Maslow, which is a person called Maslow, in fact, which is a hierarchy of needs. So here, what they have done is they have created this triangle where you can see different layers of needs. Starting from the bottom, a person will first satisfy the most bottom level needs, then they will try to satisfy the layer above that, then above that, then above that. So the most basic needs are the ones that you see at the bottom, which are food, shelter, sleep, air. So here, many brands you must have seen. For example, in food, you can think of something like, Lay's, Kurkure. These are companies which are playing for those needs, which are trying to satisfy those needs. Safety needs, if you look at personal security, employment, resources, health, then there even insurance companies have a play because they are trying to safeguard your assets and safeguard your future. And even banking would come there. And if we talk about love and belonging, which is when you complete when you have your physiological needs are mostly complete and you're also feeling safe, then you will move to higher level needs, which are love and belonging. And here you could even look at dating apps. You could look at Facebook, Twitter, and such apps where you can connect with people and satisfy the friendship needs, intimacy, family. When those are done, you will move on to needs which are esteem. Now, these are respect, status. So these are needs which come from other things as well. For example, an iPhone would also fit in there because it is a status symbol also. And also, you could buy a luxury car, for example, and that would help satisfy your esteem needs. Finally, there are the self-actualization needs, which is basically when you have satisfied all the needs which are below, which I think humans rarely ever do, then you move beyond it. So I will not discuss this in this talk, but I just wanted to clarify that needs are the basic ones for survival. They are not just food, water, air. There are more types of needs as well as humans, which we have. And someone had rightly said that a want is a way to satisfy a need. So, what is a want? A want is a specific way to satisfy a need. So, in this, for example, if we just go with a food example, there are many different kinds of ways that you can satisfy your need of hunger. If you're feeling hungry, you can eat a pizza, you can eat burger, you can eat samosa, you can eat, there are so many options, right? And there are many, again, I'm stressing, there are many companies which try to satisfy this food need. In pizza, I know you must know many companies, many brands. Burger, there are several brands in India. Samosa also, many shops in India sell samosa. But even wants are of specific types. So wants are of two types. One is demand, which is want for a specific product, where you also have the ability to pay for it. For example, if there's for example, let's say that I'm a college student and I want to eat pizza. I'm feeling hungry. I want to eat pizza, but I can't go to a luxury hotel. I'm on a budget. So I will go to a local pizza chain and I will eat there. So that is a demand where I want something, but I also have the money to pay for it. Other is desire. For example, I want to eat pizza, but I want to eat it at a very high, luxury restaurant, but I don't have the money for it. So that is only desire, where the want is there. I want to, have that pizza at the very top restaurant, but I don't have the money for it. So why am I trying to tell you this is because marketing is focused on needs, as I told you. We try to satisfy needs. And what satisfies needs? Wants. So marketeers work on wants. We try to, tell people that this is how you can satisfy this need, right? And within these, if you look at it, desire is of course one aspect where any luxury brand would want to have certain level of desire as well. For example, Mercedes would not only want people, to afford its products, but they will also want people who are not able to afford it to talk about it. So desire is also good for them, but they would eventually want people to move from desire to demand, where people are also buying their products. That is the way they will make money. So as you can see, that want is important for marketers because that is how we satisfy needs. We need to make people want certain specific things and certain specific brands. Now, moving on from the satisfying the needs, there's also target market. Because a simple thing I'll tell you that in marketing, your target customer can't be everyone. Like you wish that you could target everyone in the world and everyone is your target. For example, if you want to sell, some clothing, everyone can't be your target. You have to have a focused target segment and you have to be able to imagine them that this is the person who will buy my product and this is the person I will speak with. So that is why you need to have a target market in mind. And finally, you need to do it at a profit. Revenue can also be written as sales. Basically, how much are you selling and how much did you invest to get it? So basically, you can do a lot of marketing. I can, talk about my product with everyone in the world, but that will not be economical. My cost will be too high and I won't be able to sell as much. So that's why I need to do it at a profit. That's why I need to be very focused in my efforts and work within the budget that I have to be able to make profit out of it. So that further on, when I, do my marketing again, then I can reinvest that profit into my budget. Now it's time for a case study that we will do. So please, wear your marketing hats and get ready for this because now you have learned a lot about marketing and you've got to know what marketing is. So you have to help a company out and solve a case with me. So there is a struggling traditional snacks company in India, and it's called Taste of India. So Taste of India is the name of the company, and it's struggling with it. Now let's see what is happening with this company. So Taste of India Private Limited is a 50 plus year old company specializing in packaged namkeen. So 50 plus year old means it's somewhere in the 1960s. This company was founded. It's pretty old. And what does it sell? It sells packaged namkeen. Basically, namkeen in packets, not open. It's in packets. So although this snack was found almost everywhere, Taste of India was able to capture the hearts and also the taste buds of people across India with its unique flavors. As a result, its business saw rapid growth. So this is in the past that even though namkeen, you can find it everywhere in India, right? But Taste of India was still able to differentiate from its competition because it had a unique taste and people really loved it. That's why the sales grew and the business grew. Profit might have also grown, we don't know about it, but that doesn't matter. The business was growing. But this is the problem that we're facing, and this is where we have to help out. Since the past 5 years, its business has not grown as it's not able to attract young customers. So what has happened is that this is, as I told you, 50 plus year old company. So in the past, it was doing very well. But now the customer base, who were the, let's say that now they are 60-year-old people. But that time they were 20-year-olds, 20-year-olds, right? But now as they have aged, they have started eating less namkeen. So the customer base that knows about them are not buying much namkeen. And the problem that they're facing is ki the youngsters of today, they are not buying namkeen. So even though they were able to sell to youngsters in the past, they are not able to sell to youngsters of today. So how do they go about this? And how can Taste of India get back on a growth path? But I'll tell you the first point of marketing and the most important point of marketing has to be one word, and it starts with C. You need to start with the customer. And also someone had written in the chat that they should do market research. So yes, in fact, in this stage, discovering value means that you look at what is there in the market and what do consumers want. And first of all, you will go and speak to customers. So you will speak to the youngsters of today that what is happening. And let's say that Taste of India has done this research. And what did they find out? They find out that the youngsters of today, they want namkeen. But they don't want namkeen that is only tasty. They also want healthy namkeen, because today's youngsters are much more health conscious. While they think that the namkeen which is there already, even Taste of India's namkeen, is not healthy for them. So that's why they're not buying the namkeen. Yes, one more personalization customer. Great. Next thing that we look at is company. So what is company? Company is us. Company is Taste of India, basically. So Taste of India now has to look at itself. It has to look at two things. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? So on the strengths, it has to make, strengths it has to build upon, and strengths it has to use. So what are the strengths? Let's say that it did the research with the consumers also. It spoke with customers. What do you feel about our product? And let's see what did they find out. So they find out that uh, the unique flavor that Taste of India's chips have, it comes from its unique combination of spices. For example, KFC, I think you all must have heard that it has some secret recipe of herbs. Similarly, Taste of India also has a unique flavor that comes from its secret recipe of spices, right? So, and one more thing is that it's a trusted brand for Indian snacks. So why is this? Because as I told you, that the parents of today's youngsters used to buy this. So even the youngsters have seen, since their childhood, that their parents are eating Taste of India. So they also trust it. Yes, they must be eating something good. So they trust the Taste of India brand. So these are the strengths that this company, Taste of India, can utilize. Next, we will look at category and competition. So in category and competition, in category, we will look at the healthy snacks category, especially the snacks that this target audience is eating, which are youngsters, let's just say. And when I mean youngsters, I don't mean, below 20. I'm talking about people above 20. So let's say that in this category, we discover that this is a big market, because if it's a small market, then it's not worth it. Then we will have to create demand. We'll have to really educate people. So discovering value doesn't just end here. We'll go into the second part of this. Now, this part is a bit more complicated, but I'll still tell you about it. So we can also segment, then we will look at our target audience, which is, people aged between 20 and 40, let's say. And within this, we can do a segmentation. Segmentation can be done on various levels. So what are we doing? We are trying to break our audience, target audience, overall target audience into parts. For example, as I told you, Taste of India is an all India brand. Now, what can I do? On geography, I can split it. I can say I want to only target people in North India, only in South India, only in, West Bengal. I can do that also. Secondly, I can also do it based on age. I can only say I want to target people below 20, or I want to target people between 20 and 40, or I want to target people above 40. So like this, gender also I can choose. For example, if it's a feminine hygiene brand, like a feminine, let's say a lipstick, then I won't target males. I will target only females. Income groups can also be targeted. Interests can also be targeted. For example, if I'm trying to sell some sporting goods, then I won't target everyone. I target people who have interest in that sport. Purchasing habits can also be targeted. For example, if I'm trying to sell something, a small item, then I can sell it, and I want to sell it to only people who use, online shopping platforms. Then based on that, I will target only people who use, these platforms on a daily basis. What is my target segment? Let's say that here, Taste of India does this study, right? And it finds out that in North India, there is the most consumption of namkeen. So then why should I put money on South? Why should I target people in South? I will only target people in North India and in this age group, 20 to 35. And whom will I target? I want to target people in middle and upper income groups. I don't want to target lower income groups people, because I have seen that they don't want a healthy namkeen right now. And who else do I want to target? I want to specifically target people who are fitness enthusiasts, because they want healthy snacks. And I also want people who like namkeen, because if someone doesn't like namkeen, then maybe they're not relevant for me. And next, I can also see people who purchase online and in supermarkets. because I can say that my product, Taste of India, doesn't sell so much in, Kirana stores. So I should only go with the, places where I'm already selling my products. So I'm listed on, let's say, the big e-commerce platforms. I'm also available in your big bazaar, hypermarkets and all. So I will sell there also. And positioning. So what is positioning? Positioning is, as I told you earlier, we need to deliver value to the customer. And this needs to be better than competition. We need to deliver superior value. So how do we deliver superior value? In this case, let's say that Taste of India says that we are the healthiest namkeen. This is the healthiest namkeen in the market. And healthiest means that this is healthiest, right? It's not healthier than anyone. No one is healthier than me. I'm the healthiest namkeen. So buy me, right? So this is also called the USP, which is a unique selling proposition. I think this is a very common terms you must have heard. Unique selling proposition is basically, if I had to tell you in very simple words, it's how do I give superior value to customers, right? This is how I give superior value. How am I better than customers or competition? Sorry. Now moving on, we will look at how do we execute this. Now, this is something interesting. 4 P's of marketing. These are the 4 P's. So product, price, place, and promotion. So instead of me giving you, what are the definitions of these, let me just tell you that how does Taste of India use these 4 P's. But 4 P's, if I had to tell you, these are the tools that a marketer has. In marketing, these are the tools you can use to execute your planning. So you've done your planning. You want to be the healthiest namkeen in the market. But how do you now deliver that to the customers? So as I told you the definition, we had done, there were 4 steps, right? Discover value. So discovering value we have done. Now we will create value. And how is value created? Value is created with the product. A product is what am I offering? Basically, if you answer that, you will get the answer. And this includes what are the features of the product? What is the packaging like? So someone had given earlier an answer, I remember, that the packaging should be very, happening and exciting so that someone buys it. That is definitely true. This is where it will come. So that you can translate that positioning which you have decided, we need to be the healthiest namkeen in the market. This is how we translate it, right? And packaging, services will also come, brand will also come. So here, let's say that Taste of India has decided that this is my product. It's low fat, low in calories. It has pure ingredients and it's rich in protein also. It has a unique taste of Taste of India. As I told you about the herbs, which has the secret herbs and all. The Taste of India brand is also there, which is trusted by the customers. And the packaging is also very appealing, right? So these are the things that make up the product. And here, apart from that, if we look at our phone also, for example, this is a very, a food item and it's a frequently purchased item. But if you look at something more expensive than like a phone, so in that the features would be different. The features would be, as we talked about it, the camera can be a feature, the audio quality can be a feature, even the flip phones have the ability of a wider screen, so that's a feature. Packaging will also be very important. Services will also be a feature in phones, for example, like warranty is a kind of service that they're providing. And apart from that, so these are all the kind of things that are there. And very importantly, brand is also part of this. So the brand, if it's trusted, if it's, very well known, then that is an asset to the product. Next, as we have done, we have discovered value, right? And we have also created value in the form of a product. Now we need to deliver it to the customer. And I think there were some interesting answers that how will the product reach the customers? This is what we'll answer. And there were some interesting answers in canteens and such people had given. And so I'll give you some examples. If I have a namkeen and I want to sell it, I can sell it online. Now, what kind of e-commerce platform should I target? I can do Amazon, Flipkart. Definitely, I should do them. But better than that, I should do quick commerce platforms where people impulsively buy when they're really hungry. For example, Blinkit, Zepto, or such platforms where people want it within minutes and they just look at it and they feel hungry. They want to snack. and this is also snack. So those are the platforms where it will be much better fit rather than Amazon, Flipkart, where it might take 1 or 2 days to come to my home. And also, as I told you earlier, okay, there's an interesting role about AI also question. Okay. Anyway, we'll come back to this. So these are the outlets. I can also sell in supermarkets where my product can be easily available. And also I can sell it in, gyms where they have vending machines and I can place my product inside that because I'm targeting fitness enthusiasts. And what price should I sell my product at? So let's say that I have 2 packs and I study the competition and I decide that I want to price at these price points so that I'm more expensive than competition. Why? Because I'm offering more value. So I'm able to price my product like this. I'm not getting too much detail here, but this is how it's done. And finally, communicating value. So communicating value is the most exciting part. As people say, advertising, communication. So what will I say to customers and where? So let's say my messaging that I decide to come across is ab namkeen mein health bhi swad bhi. Now I want to tell this to the youngsters of the target segment that I decided. And I want to reach them on Instagram and Facebook. And I also want to, as I'm targeting fitness enthusiasts, I want to, place my advertisements on TV between some football championship that is happening. I want to also place it, outside the metro, as you must have seen, because these people are office goers. So when they go in the morning or when they're coming back home, they can be reminded that, yes, this is a snack that exists. I can also play it on Ghana or Spotify because when many people commute to office or even to college or such, then they listen to music. So my ad can play in the middle and they can be reminded that, yes, this is a snack I can buy. And finally, I can also do an influencer campaign on Snapchat. If I discover that some of my target segment is on Snapchat and they will see these kinds of ads. So what I'm trying to say is that marketing is present across all sectors. And that's why it's an industry where if anyone joins, then they have a lot of options open to them in terms of working across different industries and different kinds of products.
Thank you, Shikhar, for delivering an excellent webinar on a beginner's guide to marketing to the students. Your insights and expertise were incredibly valuable and inspiring. Students must have found your presentation engaging and informative, and it must have been undoubtedly sparked their interest in the field of marketing. Your contribution has made a significant impact on their learning journey, and we are truly grateful for your time and effort. Looking forward for more opportunities to collaborate with you in future.
Okay, thank you so much.